Atalanta, and this is Everyday Witchcraft. Here on Everyday Witchcraft, we explore everything from witchcraft to the occult to the paranormal and the spiritual. Every week we have special guests that have expertise in the subject matter at hand. Welcome to another episode of Everyday Witchcraft. Tonight's returning guest is Belladonna Laveau. Belladonna is the archive priestess of the Aquarian Tabernacle Church. She is an author, a teacher, and so much more. No further ado, let's welcome Bella.
Oh, I'm so grateful to be here. I love coming on your show and getting to spend time with you. I got my coffee ready and I am so ready. Oh, we're going to have a good time.
Absolutely. We always do. For people that, now everybody knows you, but just do a little intro for people that might not, maybe the newbies on the block.
You flatter me. Everybody does not know me. Thank you. I'm so grateful for that makes me feel really good, Atalanta. I'm Belladonna Laveau. I'm the archpriestess of the Aquarian Tabernacle Church, which is a multi-traditional congregation of covens from all over the world. And we work together to protect civil rights for pagans and provide big church resources. So while I have my own tradition, which is called the Wise Tradition, and I've been practicing witchcraft since 88. It is not, we don't teach a tradition as much as in the ATC, as much as I teach a tradition in my own group, and so do all of the other groups. So it's a bunch of autonomous groups working together, which I think is really, really cool. So that's what I get to do. I didn't create the ATC. I'm the second archpriestess. I got appointed in 2012. Great year, 2012. A lot of fun back then. And I've really enjoyed getting to serve at this level. We have a seminary for people who want to study to be in leadership, or even just personal knowledge. The first 2 years is personal path, and then it develops you from there as you want to go. wiccanseminary.edu. We have a youth program, which is spiralscouts.org. It is the largest pagan youth organization in the world, fourth largest scouting organization in the United States.
Wow.
So really proud of that. And we have a bunch of other things, newsletters and stuff like that. atcwicca.org is where you can go to find more of me if you want to look me up and check me out.
I haven't seen you in person since Puff. What's been going on?
Oh my gosh, since Puff. Well, I don't actually run the school. There's a dean that runs the school. There's a CEO that runs Spiral Scouts. I don't run all of these departments. I just kind of keep them all moving. I answer the big problems. Oh, Bella, we've got a problem. I've got an easy button that I bought at Staples, and we hit that and do whatever it tells us.
Delegate.
Well, yeah, and I know a bunch of experts. So if I don't know the answer, I call other people that do. There are other people that have been in the pagan community longer than me, who have seen a lot more than me, that I call and say, hey, I need help. And because of the history of the ATC and what we do for Wicca, it's a really important organization. So people are willing to help me, thank God, because I do not know all the answers. And then, I have lawyer friends, and I have, other friends that know other things that might come up. So I help people when they have problems. Sometimes when you're out there running a group, you run into some real problems. Like you find somebody who's an antagonist and wants to take out your organization because they don't have anything going on in their world and they just feel like that's what they want to do with their life. And, when you don't have somebody to help you, you don't know what to do about that. But if you've got a community that's had that happen 1,000 times, We know what
Mhm.
to do about it. Right.
Yeah.
And so we help you get through it. And other things like zoning issues in your like your county trying to shut you down. That's what happened to me one time. The zoning guy came up and he was like, we want to, you can't do this here at your house. Well, you can. But for a minute, I was scared. And then I called
Mhm.
Pete Davis, who was the founder of the Aquarian Tabernacle Church. And he was like, oh, honey, this is what you do. And so I did that. And now when people call me scared, I say, oh, honey, this is what you do.
That's good. Yeah,
So,
teamwork. It takes a good
yeah, it's a
team,
good job.
you know.
Yeah, it
I
does.
mean,
Well, you train people up and they run my job is helping people find their dreams, which I love to do,
mhm,
because I provide opportunities for people to serve the goddess in whatever way they're called. That's a very exciting job for me. But yeah, I don't
absolutely.
run the school. Now, what has happened since Huff? Okay, so
Mhm,
we are still we're in the process of building new Eleusis. We are looking for land right now. I don't know if you remember, but we've talked about it several times.
mhm,
The goddess has told me that there's other people working on this and she's going to bring them all together when
mhm,
she's ready. Okay, so I discovered Atalanta. This blew my mind. And if any of people have heard about New Eleusis before, this is going to blow your mind too. Okay, so there's
mhm,
all these other groups that are doing New Eleusis projects, and they're actually calling it New Eleusis. There are websites out there that say the only thing that's going to save the planet is the reemergence of New Eleusis, or the building of New
mhm.
Eleusis. And I'm like, whoa. And so a guy contacted me in December and he was like, can you provide entertainment for our New Eleusis project? And I was like, what kind of entertainment are you looking for?
What you got in mind?
What do you want to do? But I called him, and he's working on a New Eleusis project. That I said, we've got a New Eleusis project. What do you mean you've got a New Eleusis project? He's got newelusis.us. Like he's got a website. Some people over in the UK's got a website. New Eleusis has already been bought. And I'm so excited because all these other people are working on it. And this guy's contacted all these other people and is
Mhm.
starting to pull us all together. He is a plant medicine lawyer.
A plant medicine. Oh, I love plant medicine, and it's getting so
Yeah.
huge right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's a big plant medicine guy, and he has gotten psychedelics decriminalized on the peninsula in Olympia. And for the use of helping PTSD and stuff like that. He's done a lot of research on it. He's done research on the fly agaric, the witch's mushroom. I'm like,
Mhm.
you have? Because I don't know anybody who's done a lot of research. I mean, I've worked with it a little bit, but I don't know anybody else who's worked with it as much as I have and has experiences they can talk about. And I'm really excited I just really enjoy talking to him. And finding out all this cool stuff about New Eleusis. So it's coming together. We're all starting to connect
Mhm.
and working
The
together to
collective.
get the land. And we
Yep.
have a plan of how to make the land happen. We have $500,000 already.
Oh,
Yeah, half a
that's
million dollars already. We have figured out how to do it. We have 10 investors that have hundreds of thousands of dollars each. And that's not liquid, but will come in on phase two.
Mhm.
And so the plans are actually happening. Like this is gonna happen. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I've got tears in my eyes. I'm so excited.
And there's power in the connections and the collective and everybody being, together to do this. And I mean, that's when changes happen all over the world. I mean, it takes one person to kind of get started, but when you get everybody together, that's why people believe in the power of prayer. Y'all do it at once. Meditation. I was a part of a worldwide meditation group done by Zoom, and there were so many people. I mean, it was all, and we did like just putting out peace, love, and bare feet into the, into the earth. And
Right.
and you can feel that. So when you get all these people together, just the power behind it, make a change.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So at Hecate Sickle Festival, we're going to do the vassalage ceremony. And so we have all these temples to the Olympian deities, right? And so there's a votary of each temple, and that's basically the wisdom keeper, the person who's in charge of keeping the information year to year and making sure the vessel is properly trained and has the support they need. And they know the costumes and they set up the shrines, and that's their job. And so we're up in the ante on the vesselage ceremony this year at Hecate Sickle Festival, and each deity is coming out with a song and something that portrays them, right? Well, Dusty wants the Apollo group to come out first.
Of course.
And that I'll be wearing like super bright shirts, right? And looking all hot and
Yeah.
and being like or nothing. That's and being like, hey
Hey.
me, looking good.
Hey.
Hey me, look at you. Yeah. To I think you was to play Let's Get It Started by the Black Eyed
Yeah.
Peas. Let's get it started. Let's get... So
Oh,
they're
that
all
would be
talking
so
about
awesome.
how they're just gonna just bring it, right? How are you gonna come to Spring Mysteries though? That's where the big this is getting ready for Spring Mysteries. This is like picking the vessels is a big deal. So the vessels get called by deity and they get adopted into a temple. And you think, okay, let me tell you, Atalanta, I worked with the Eleusinian gods for 20 years and I thought I knew them. And then I came and I became a vessel at Spring Mysteries. And now I know more than like, I just know that deity on a real deep level because they rode me for a year, right? And so I know things about Hera, and the temple of Hera knows things about Hera that is not common. And so when we all get in a room together, we all act a certain way because we all share these knowledges of how she is. Hera's like, people are afraid of Hera, but Hera's like your coach. She's like, girl, you've got something on your shoe. You're
You got toilet
fine
paper on
now.
your shoe. Get that off of it.
Don't sign this contract right now. This contract is not a good contract. Look at the fine print. Now, she's just the coach on your shoulder. I always thought she was the jealous wife, but they just portray her that on television because they want to disempower women. And
Right.
if you're jealous and you're owned, then how powerful are you? But that is not the true Hera. That is not the
That's
true Hera.
amazing. And when is
So
this? It's the beginning of November, right?
Hecate Sickle Festival is the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of November, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're doing leadership classes, award ceremony, and Hecate magic. Oh my God. It's on the dark moon and the new moon, which means we
Oh.
get to do the deep nun and the numenea at their time. And I've got this little 2-ounce skull glass that's made of glass. It's got the Strophalos Hecate symbol on the bottom of it. And everybody gets one, like that's your festival token. And we're going to do magic with those glasses, and she's going to bless them. And we're going to do the Tikon and the Numenea, and we're going to set everybody up to be able to do that magic every month, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do your new moon rituals. Well, what are they? Everybody's got their ideas of what they are, but they came from Hecate, Queen of Witches.
Queen of
And
Wishes.
so I'm really excited to. We do Hecate Sickle Festival, and she just takes us into a deep dive in some kind of layer of magic that we've never done before. And we
Yeah.
just
Now, does she ever change it on you? Like, you've got it kind of planned out, and then right in the middle, something happens, and you kind of switch gears on it. Has it ever happened?
So there are times when you think it's about one thing and then it's about something else. So we did the familiars last year. Never done a familiars. There's not a lot of information out there on familiars, but we have familiars and we know how to work with them. And we invited the zoo and we did all this cool stuff. And then we got to Sickle and we realized that my familiar had just died. And it was just a big homage to my familiar the whole dang weekend.
Aww.
I was like, Honey Bear was a priestess, and she's had her picture taken with Janet and Gavin, Janet Farr and Gavin Bone, and Selena Fox and Don Lewis and Oberon Zell, and all of these people. And she had People would come to write articles about us, and they didn't write them about Honey Bear. She got to go to the Smithsonian and the Biltmore House. Like, Honey Bear had a big life,
Oh,
and
that's
she
sweet.
impacted a lot of people. And the goddess was like two
Yeah, I
familiars.
like it whenever
That is
Hecate
so
has a way of sort of changing things up. Like she's like, okay, wait a minute, here's what this is, and you're going, okay, I've got all this, and then all of a sudden it's, oh, you wanted me to do that, and I had to do this so I could get there. And I mean, I just started working with her probably, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, something like that. And and she's a good mother because she sits back and lets you fall, but she'll clean up that scrape on that knee and put a band-aid. Yeah. No.
Yeah, she will. I really love working with Hecate because my timing is incredible. I walk up to the right place at the right time for the right thing to happen. I'll be like, oh, there you are. How about that? I just got here. Like I really appreciate the timing and being in the right place at the right time.
Hmm.
She's also really good at, she wants you to not have expectations so
Hmm.
that she can give you what she has planned instead of your little tiny limited life.
Right.
So the deep non is about taking all of the stuff that you're holding on to and dumping it,
Hmm.
and then getting rid of things that you don't need, and then being in that space, that liminal space of emptiness, and surrendering to whatever it is that she wants for you, which is far better than what you could possibly imagine for yourself, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, because you
So
don't really know.
couple
I
years
mean,
ago.
until
Oh, I have to tell you.
I love paranormal stuff. I was an investigator. I love talking to the dead. I've had a lot of experiences. So I moved into this apartment, and of course, I've got my Hecate shrine. I've kind of put it on the floor, because she likes to be on the floor in the underworld, and it was just beautiful. And I'd sit there and talk to her, and there was some activity going on in my apartment. So I'm not going to repeat it because I don't want the same thing to happen. But so I told her, I said,
don't
look,
call it
if it's
back.
good, go ahead and let it come forth. If it's not, and I sort of invited too many. What happened was I had to put a camera inside my apartment showing the living room and the dining room because of some things that happened. So, and this was when I was on the road all the time. I was only home like a week out of the month. So I got the camera and I'm excited about it because I just wanted, not that there's going to be anything in there, but I'm like, ooh, let's go look. I'm at a festival, me and my little girlfriend assistant, and we're looking at the camera. And I promise you, the blinds where there was no air conditioning, the vertical blinds were going. I have this on video. And I'm like, and then lights started going bam, 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 bam. They were having a party. She said, okay, you want them there? There you go. I mean, I don't even know how many entities were in there, but I have it on video. And it was so amazing. So I had to go home and be like, Hecate, mother, can you get some of these? I was
I
thinking
mean,
one
you
or
do
two.
you do play with the dead things now.
I do play with the dead. I do play with
You
the
do
dead
play
thing.
with the dead. One of the things that I have learned about necromancy is when you work with the dead, you need some raw meat. Have we talked about this before?
Uh-uh.
Okay, so you need a little raw meat in your stomach because they will eat you. If you have raw meat in your stomach, they will eat it. And if you don't, they will eat you. So if you have health issues working with the dead, it's quite possible that you need to eat some raw meat before you go. I got seances to do this month, and raw meat ain't my thing, but I will be having some
I'm gonna eat that
before
raw
I
meat.
go into my seances because I don't want them to, if you do a seance, you're like, oh God, I'm so exhausted. Yeah, you
Hmm.
need some raw meat in your stomach.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Is it,
Yeah,
like raw red meat, or does it matter what
yeah,
kind?
red meat.
Red meat.
Well,
Okay.
I've never tried sushi before. Raw red meat was what I just assumed. I wouldn't eat
Yeah.
any other kind of raw meat,
Hmm.
but like rare. You don't
Right.
have to eat like blue
Oh,
to like
you could
open the
put it in.
package.
You could. It doesn't have to be a lot, right? I mean, you could wrap it in something and just swallow it. That's what I'd
Yeah,
do because I wouldn't be
yeah.
chewing it. It'll freak me out. But yeah.
Just
How
a
about you?
piece of rare steak. You can't
Oh,
eat rare sometimes. I'm like, we're walking through New Orleans after the witches cruise. We did a witches on the water cruise. You got to come to that,
Yes.
girl. That was off the chain.
Yeah.
Talk about pictures. I'll show you my pictures from that. It looked like Ishelle reached down with her hands and accepted our offering in a
Oh,
picture. Oh, it's really crazy. And we got pictures of her just standing in this big rainbow column in the sky. She's pretty cool. We had a really amazing trip.
I bet. Yeah.
But
And you do it every year? That's an every
this
year
is
thing?
our first one. We're planning the
Oh,
next one right now. I don't know where we're gonna do. I don't know yet, but we're planning it. Everybody wants to go again. We had the biggest group on the ship. It was off the chain. A lot of fun. But I'm standing in New Orleans, which is my town. I love New Orleans. And you know, the dead are everywhere. It's like you got the crowd of people and then you got the crowd of dead to walk
Proud of the
through.
Dead.
And so I was standing there and my keen goes off and I'm like, oh gosh. And the girl calls and this is one of my regular people and she likes to talk to her grandfather. And man, I was so in tune in New Orleans that we discovered this entire mafia history of her family that she doesn't know about. And she's like, oh my God, is that why they're all rich and they won't have anything to do with us? And we've got this huge family and they won't ever have anything to do with us. They don't come to our birthdays. They don't invite us to Christmas. And it was really great because New Orleans is just a portal, right?
It absolutely is.
It's
It
so
absolutely is.
fantastic. That's where we should do a seance.
Yeah. I love New Orleans. I used to spend a lot of time out there working and yeah, I spent almost like the whole summers out there working. I loved it. The only reason why I didn't move there is because I had young children and I didn't want to raise my young children, and because I would live down in the middle of everything for sure, you know. So I would just kind of go, but I love it there. And you're right, you have crowds of people, the living, but I mean, you can see it. It's like it's packed of spirits.
It's
You know what I'm
packed.
saying? And they
We
all want
left
to talk.
New Orleans and we went to the Yucatan. And so
Okay.
I had my students with me in New Orleans and I'm like, look at the dead people and they're telling me what they see and stuff like that. And we're talking about the pirates and there's just so many. There's
There's
just so
so
many.
many.
And
Yeah,
we
and they
took
all want
a
to talk. They all want to
yeah,
talk,
they're like, wait, you can see me. Yeah. We
Hmm.
went on a historical haunts tour and
Hmm.
we met the lady there. She was a pagan. We connected. We exchanged phone numbers. We got I make friends in New Orleans. I love that city.
I do
So
too.
yeah, we went there. We went to the Yucatan and we had Cozumel is the island of swallows. It's sacred to Ishel. There's a
Beautiful.
pilgrimage that happens. The time that we were there, I had no idea. We were like, let's go on a cruise. Where do we want to? Let's find someplace central in the United States to leave from. Like that's how we planned it. And he
Right.
said, what are we going to do? And I said, I don't know. She'll tell us. And boy, did she. So yeah, we went on a pilgrimage and Jaguar Energy and Madame Hamida went and we did mermaid magic and
Oh,
animal magic. So I'm at the temple and we do the temple thing. I don't see the pictures, so I don't know that her hand came down and accepted the offerings. We don't
yeah,
find that
you're in the
out.
middle.
We just do the ritual. And then we're going back. I'm standing there and I invoke a shell into everybody and I'm like, are you here? And she said, of course I'm here. And I said, well, do you have any messages for me? And she said, I've already told you everything. I'm talking to all these other people. And I'm like, well, okay, that makes sense. I'll just facilitate. That makes sense. And so we're walking back, and the tour guide goes, you can go this way to the bus or this way to Michelle's holy city. And I went, what did you just say? What did you just say? Holy city, holy city, holy shit, I'm having so, I had no idea. I had no idea. So we
Wow.
go. I'm so excited. We get there, and she said, this part's for you. And I was like, oh my God, this is how I know God loves me. And I got to see some really cool stuff. He was like, he taught us about why the steps on the Mayan temples are so skinny is because you step up sideways. You're not supposed to walk towards the gods because
Right.
that's
Oh, I didn't
gravity.
know that was why. I mean, I knew you went
Yeah.
this way, but I didn't know why.
Or
Okay.
turn your back on them because that's rude, right? So you walk up the steps sideways, and then when you get to one edge, you turn and you go back the other way, and that's why it's a snake walk.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know the reason why. I
And
mean, I knew that that's the way you had to do it, but I spent time in Cozumel.
it's so pretty. And then he said that they made the roads out of mother of pearl so that it glowed in the moonlight, that they didn't have torches, and so they just used mother of pearl to light their way. And guess who's gonna have mother of pearl roads? Demeter is, I can promise you that. I'm excited to learn about that. So I came home going, oh my God, I have so much more research to do.
I love that.
God has sent me an architect. And then, of
Mhm.
course, lo and behold, you just ask the mother for what you're looking for and she gets it to you. It's
Mhm.
a lot easier to give you things than money. She doesn't have a bank account, but she got connections to everybody.
She's got
So
connections.
she sends me an architect. This guy's in doing his doctorate thesis in architecture and he wants to build a pagan worship center. And I'm like,
You're
yes.
like,
So
yeah.
I'm having fun. Then we just were given the metaphysical marketplace locally in town, which is really exciting. We're going to get to we were given the metaphysical marketplace before the pandemic, like years ago, by
Mhm.
this person she had written it all up, and then the pandemic happened, and we didn't keep doing it, and then this other person started it up under the same name, so we were like, let's just support them. And then she came up to me the other day and she's like, would you like to take this over? And I was like, yes.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
I
Thank
would.
you.
Thank you so much. And so we're going to take that over, and then Sickle and Spring Mysteries. I'm so excited about the festivals. Oh, the award ceremony
Yeah,
at
tell me
Lance.
about
I
that.
want to tell
Yeah,
you
yeah, tell
about
me
the
about
award ceremony at Sickle. Okay, so my whole life, I've thought, we just don't do enough for our leaders. We don't recognize our leaders. We don't recognize people that are working hard in the
that.
community. It is, when you go and get a free breakfast that you paid for showing up to festival, but somebody got up at 4 a.m. and started cooking for you. Like
Hmm.
that is a lot of work. And we don't always see that, right?
Hmm.
So I've always wanted to put an award ceremony together so that people could see the work that gets done and say thank you.
Right.
So we did it this year. Sickle used to be an award ceremony a long time ago, but it was a little different. And so we've kind of restructured it, and we're giving away rings, garnet rings to leaders. Like you get
Oh,
one of
that's
three styles. I'll send you
right.
pictures.
Yeah.
One of three styles, and then you give me your size,
Hmm.
and we have it right there for you if you're coming to
It's
Sickle. And then
beautiful.
you can bring your people
Hmm.
and say, this person does all of this hard work, this person does
Hmm.
all of it, and they get other awards. They get a Green Man Award, which is for hard work.
Hmm.
And then a Diana's Bow is for magical work and leadership, teaching, like magical stuff.
Right, right.
Opposed to, you've got two kinds of helpers. You got the ones carrying the boxes and you got the ones writing the rituals, you
Yes.
know. So the Green Man is for that kind of work, and the Diana's Bow is for and then a 5-year pin for every 5 years they've been in service. And so if you
Oh,
come to Sickle, any group leader, like if you're a group leader and you come to Sickle, you get uh, recognized on stage with a ring. And if you bring your people, you get an opportunity to recognize them, and we provide the
yeah.
awards. You don't have to pay for them.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's such a great idea. And it takes, like we were just talking, it takes a team to
It
make
does.
anything happen. I mean, granted, it might start with this idea, but it takes a team, to make
Oh
it
yeah.
come
Oh
into
yeah.
play.
I
So,
could not run the church by myself. You're like, oh, you're so busy. I am. I'm busy going, how is this department doing? Okay. How is this department doing? Help this new person.
yeah, but
How is
you're putting out fires too. You're putting out fires. You're grouping people together. You're doing all the. It's a lot. I mean, I can't imagine.
No, but that's what I
But
was
it's
saying. It takes a team.
yeah,
It takes, yeah,
absolutely.
you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And
Well,
and if you're going to do something really big and really impactful, it takes a really lot.
so
You
we were just talking about New Orleans and all the dead people. Samhain, right around the corner. What are you doing for Samhain?
Other than wearing these awesome cool earrings. Aren't those cool?
I love all of it. I love that whole look right there. The hat, the glasses, the earrings. I love it. That's precious.
Got my witch on today, girl. My
I
mystic
see
topaz.
that. I got my bones, my jawbone.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So what am I doing for Samhain? Well,
Mhm.
other than Hecate Sickle Festival.
Right, right.
So they have this thing called Secret Seattle. And they have got this rooftop party
Mm.
at the weekend before Halloween, which just
Mhm.
happens to be the weekend that I have free to do something for me. And so me and nine of my closest friends got a package deal where each of us get 3 free drinks, and we paid to all go. It's a costume party, and we are
Oh,
going
that's
to descend upon the witches are going to descend upon the rooftops, and we're going to have a really good time. I'm going to be Jessica Rabbit. I've got my wig. I've got my sequined gown with the pointy boobs at the
yeah.
top, and big old tall heels so that I can be way taller than Dusty, who's going to be Roger Rabbit. He's got
Oh my
this
gosh, that's so cute.
He's got a red pimp suit and ears and these ridiculous white tennis shoes with pink soles and gloves and the bow tie. Oh my God, it's
Oh my
adorable.
goodness.
He
Are
looks
you going to
hip
post
and
pictures?
style.
Are you going to
Oh
do
yeah,
social media with the pictures and stuff? Because
oh
I've got to see
absolutely.
this.
Yeah, let's go. We're gonna have a blast. We never get to do anything at Samhain because I'm always working. I'm
Yeah.
working this weekend. I'm going to next weekend. Let me plug all the things that I'm doing for
Yeah.
Halloween for October, because witches work all year long. I mean, all month long.
Hmm.
This weekend we're having the Mother Church event where we're going to do the Diana's bow ritual. I'm
Hmm.
going to a Venusian thing on Friday for a cacao ceremony. I'm doing I'm, the 12th. I'm doing a is it the 12th? The 15th, the 12th? Yeah, the 12th I'm doing a seance at the Wise Moon Apothecary down south. Oh my God, I don't even know where it is. And then the 19th, I'm going to Vegas to Sin City to Sin City Witches and hanging out with Aradia down there, Marissa de Aradia. And then yeah, the 26th, I'm gonna go shake my booty on rooftops
Shake your
in
booty. Oh,
topless sequined gowns and wigs. And then I'm going to go to Sickle November 1st. It's going to be a great, great month. I'm super excited.
it's a great month. That is so much. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's fun. That's a lot of fun stuff. I can't wait to see your costumes. I'm just going to die. I love Jessica Rabbit and Roger Rabbit. I love them so much. See, now I'm going to want to
Well,
watch the movie.
it's so much. It's just so Dusty and I.
It really is. That's what I'm sitting here thinking. That you couldn't have picked better costumes.
Well, Dusty and I are the ballerina and the jester, or the ballerina and the clown. I take
Mm.
myself so seriously, expressing myself through my art, and he just wants to make me laugh.
Yeah. Oh,
And that's us in a nutshell, and it's beautiful, and I love it. It's very romantic. I had a picture of a ballerina and a clown on my wall when I was a little girl,
oh.
and I was like, oh, I don't understand their relationship. and
And now you're like,
I remember thinking that when I was a kid, and then I met Dusty, and I was like, "Oh, he just makes me laugh, man. I just love being around him. I'm just always having fun because he's always making me laugh."
yeah,
And so now
that's
I
the
get the
best.
ballerina and the clown.
I love it. Yeah, so, we've known each other for a little while, but meeting y'all in person, just the energy that y'all give off is so much fun. It's so much fun.
Thank
Yeah, you can
you.
just
My
feel it. And heck,
family's
I
from
love
Virginia
yeah.
and
West Virginia. And of course they don't call it magic, right? They call it other stuff. Um, but I look back at that and I'm like, so many things and family and not just like biological family but family, everybody's family, everybody. They actually own like a couple of mountains in Virginia and in West Virginia, and it's just coal mining. I mean, hard workers, and you would think, okay, so you got the hillbillies, but we don't mind being called that because these little hillbillies, they might have been barefoot and pregnant, but they all have college degrees in like biochemistry and all this kind of stuff.
So my
Brilliant people.
family owns a mountain too.
Really?
Yes, in
That's awesome.
Collinsville, North Carolina, there's a big rock house that was the original rock house. Now somebody else has built a rock house that's small and crappy, and they use it as a tourist attraction. My
Oh,
family's rock house was built as a big multifamily home, and it's on so much land that there's also an Indian reservation on it.
oh wow.
Yeah, and that's the Teague side of the family. That's my father's line of the
Mhm.
family. We have, yes, and I grew up at that house in the summer. It's it's funny because I live in a condensed version of what I grew up in with a road and then the river on the other side of the road. It's the same way at the mother church. We had a big rock house with a huge front yard, like a Georgian estate kind of
Hmm.
house, but made out of river rock.
Oh
And
wow.
then across the road was the river, and it was named John's River. And I don't know if it's because all of my grandfather's names were John, but they were all named John, and we lived on John's River.
And
So
John's
I
River.
always thought that it was.
And good
And
memories, huh? Good
they
memories.
raised Charolais cows, and they had a paper mill,
Oh,
and
yeah.
everybody's gotten old now, and they've kind of, people have died, and there's land
Yeah.
and wheels, and I don't know. I know I'm not getting any of that, but that's where my family land was. We grew up there.
On the
They
mountain.
it's still owned by the family. I
Right.
just don't know what the politics are now, and I don't.
Yeah.
I haven't. I was the greatest thing that ever happened when I was a kid. I think that still, I don't think that still applies now that I'm a big witch. I was the first grandchild on both sides of the family, so I was the
Uh-oh.
miracle child. I was the great. They would let me do anything. They would do my hair in Shirley Temple curls and let me just bang at the piano, and they just thought I was the greatest thing that ever lived. But those people are all dead now, and
But those people are all dead now. My Uncle Percy told me, and all my family has like those names, like Violet and Edith and Percy. My Uncle Percy told me if I caught a baby cow, I could take it home with me. So all during the family reunion, our family reunions, I can't even count how many people were there. But anyway, so
they didn't think you could do it.
that's it. Didn't think I could do it, and I did. I caught it,
Oh,
and he was
yes.
going to
I
give
love
it
to
to
be
me,
underestimated.
but I couldn't take
He wouldn't give it to you?
it. No, he did. No, he gave
He
it to
did?
me. Yeah, he absolutely did. But my dad wouldn't let me have it.
So I've got those fun family names too. Would you like to hear them?
Absolutely.
Uncle Spook, Uncle Snook, Uncle Little Boy. My grandfather's name was Buck. Snook. My grandparents were named Faye and
Uh-huh.
Buck.
Oh, Faye. I love that name.
So
I
I
love that.
got Snook,
Yeah.
Spook, Little
Luke.
Boy, Cowboy, Peaches, Queen of the Strippers,
Oh,
Fat Mary, Little Mary, Crazy Mary, Ella Faye.
Crazy Mary. Did you say Fat Mary, Little Mary, Crazy Mary?
And Aunt Peaches, Queen of the Strippers.
And Peaches, Queen of the Strippers. Oh my gosh, my grandmother, my nana on my dad's mother, and I wish I could remember her name. I can't believe I got. She has a sister that was like this famous all over the world. She even dated some big actor, but burlesque stripper. And I mean, she traveled everywhere. I wanted to get a picture of her so bad before she passed, but I didn't get to do that. But my nana could dance, and she was from Hawaii, so she was also like the hula thing and everything. So I'm a little bitty kid, and she's teaching me all this, and my dad's like, you know. But I mean, yeah, I had a real famous. I'm gonna have to get her name. Real famous burlesque dancer in our family.
Isn't that
Peaches,
fun?
Queen of the
Isn't that
Strippers.
fun?
Love it.
Well,
Love it. Love it.
my mother's Mormon now. She's Welsh. All my people on my mother's side are from Wales, and all the people on my daddy's side are from Scotland. And I got a little Cherokee in there. I got my great grandmother's Cherokee. Well, so I didn't mention White Granny and Dirty Granny because White Granny. I should have not. I should have waited until you drank. I'm so
I just
sorry.
passed. I
White
just passed
Granny,
coffee
White
from my
Granny was a nurse, and Dirty Granny worked in a factory, and Dirty Granny was native. Yeah, she was full-blooded Cherokee. So I'm 1/8 Cherokee. So every time they start fussing at me about doing anything Native American, which I almost never do, I'm like, I could get my papers, okay? I could get my papers. Leave
Let
me
me get my
alone.
paperwork.
Yeah, dude, this moon face is Cherokee, baby. That's what that is.
Yeah,
But
I actually have a lot of Hawaiian in me, a lot. I mean, my dad's from
you,
Hawaii,
you,
so we're talking generation. You can't
you
see it,
look,
but I did my
I
DNA
don't
thing,
know.
and I'm like 83% Scandinavian. That's where my DNA is. But my heritage, of course, is Hawaii. So it's so funny. And I can get like some kind of card. I don't know what it is, but you can do the things in Hawaii. But look, do you see Hawaiian on here at all? No.
They'd call you a pinky.
A pinky? Oh,
That's
like
what
the
they'd
little
call you.
mice?
Yeah, they'd call you a pinky. Yeah, I've met a lot of Hawaiians on the West Coast. You don't get as many. I'm on the East Coast. But when you said that, I was like, you can totally see in your features. Yeah, when now that you mention it, I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I
But
just started studying Hawaiian magic. It was so, I've always kind of
oh
had it here and there. And
man.
my Nana, did some things. And so about a year ago, I was like, okay, when I moved out here, I was like, okay, I think I'm going to study it, but it's hard to find information on it. Well, within like the first month that I decided to do this, I got internet here, and the Spectrum girl was in Hawaii, and she's native Hawaiian, and she's telling me about all this information. She just started talking, and I'm going, this is so cool. And then a friend of mine came through going to New Island. She jumped here, and she went into a bookstore, and the very first thing she saw was a book on mana, Hawaiian magic. And then another friend, I don't know if you met, I don't know if Margaret was that, but she had gone into a thrift store recently and bought mana tarot cards, which I've never even heard of. And she gifted that. So it was like all these things. So that's what I'm studying right now, is Hawaiian magic.
Man, Atalanta, you like to dance on the dangerous side. Let me tell you what, Hawaii will claim your soul and not let you go. We lost Cunningham to Hawaii. you, you, you be careful.
I think
Uh-oh.
that's the book I have. I I think.
Yeah, he went to Hawaii, and I had some friends go to Hawaii, and they came back, and I was like, your aura's changed. What has happened to you? And they were like, we're moving to Hawaii. I said, I knew it. I knew it from the moment I saw you. Like, that place will claim you. People go there and they're like, oh, I'm not leaving. This is paradise. This is what the world should be. And
I have a friend that has a
so
house down there, and she's invited me there so many times.
you
I haven't.
should go. You should go, but be careful. Like, wear iron or something. Don't let them steal you.
You just need to like fasten a little energetic cord on me, and if you don't see me, go, Atalanta, get back here.
Someone
Oh
put some
yeah.
fishing lures in your pocket. Keep you safe from the Fae.
Ooh, the Hawaiian thing. Yeah. That, you know what they
Yeah, that's
call them?
what I'm
My
talking
dad
about.
used to call them minihunis. Matter of fact, my
Yeah.
father came into my apartment just a couple weeks ago, and I have little fairy houses and stuff on the corners down in the kitchen, and he's going like this. He's going. I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "You got minihunis in here?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Mm." And he turned around and looked at
Your
us.
house is full of brownies.
And he used to so this is like years and years and years ago. His grandfather or something like that was like a hangman. And so they had the sack that he would wear, and they, I don't know why they kept it, but they did. But his friends would stick it on and chase around all the little kids and say, the banana man's gonna get you, the banana man's gonna get you. My dad he's a
That would
trip. He's
scare
so fun.
me. Oh, it would scare me. Ah, banana man. Oh
Yeah,
no.
with the scary mask looking sack thing. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I love dressing up for Samhain and running around and scaring people. That's one of the best.
I think it is too. We used to have people dress up. My cousin's real tiny, and we always had a scarecrow type thing on our front porch, a big one. So he's very little, and we would stick him in it on Halloween. And so there would be a person in there. So little kids would come up, and they were used to seeing it there because we had it there all month, but they weren't used to it jumping up and chasing.
Oh no, that scared you to death. We used to do Halloween. What was it? scary houses, spooky houses where you go in and get all scared and stuff. And my mother decided we weren't being safe and she put it into it. We got the
Oh,
older we got, the more daring we got, and
yeah.
she decided that we were going too far. So, but I
Oh,
really want to start a new haunted house. I think that having a haunted house as a fundraiser would be awesome.
I think it would be. Yeah, that would be an amazing idea. I love I went to a
Yeah.
haunted house last year for the first time and I don't know how long. It was so cool. They had the ring girl. You remember the girl from the ring that comes up? And it was
Oh
she scared the
God.
crap out of me. Yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah. I
It
can't
was
wear. I can't see. I can't watch scary movies because if I watch them, then they get in my head, and
yeah.
I have to protect my headspace. It is
Yep.
very. I manifest what I think about, and I don't want to manifest a
I want to
zombie
manifest
or a
that. Yeah.
vampire.
I don't. I've been doing that, like for the last months. Well, once again, since I moved here, lots of changes since I moved here. I am real careful with what I put in my ears and my eyes, and I can tell whenever I watch something too much or whatever. Like I don't watch television anyway. I'll watch like a movie here or there, but I can tell there's Discovery of Witches on Netflix. If I watch more than like one episode or whatever, um, I feel sick like it's affected me. So I'm listening. I'm just real careful right now with eyes and ears, real careful with what I watch and I listen to.
When I was in my early 30s, we binged on a video game. I think it was Red Valkyrie needs food badly. What's that called? You know what
I
I'm
don't
talking about?
I don't because I don't do video games.
Gauntlet. Dusty says it's
What is it?
Gauntlet.
Gauntlet. Gauntlet. Okay, I know
Yeah,
what that one.
okay. So I binged on Gauntlet. It's one of my favorite games. And we had like some kind of cheat code where we just never died and we got real big. And so
Yeah.
we just went through it and we got all the way to the end. And man, for like, I don't know, it must have been 4 or 5 days, I just sat in front of the television and then went to sleep and then sat in front of the television and went to sleep. I don't know why I did that, but I remember the last day when I closed my eyes, I could see the monsters coming out of the thing, like the
Mm.
television show because I've been watching it so much. And I was like, oh God, I'm seeing it in my
Oh, that's so
that
super
means
scary.
if it's that programmed into me now that I'm like, what in the heck is it doing in my
Okay.
subconscious? I'm not gonna manifest
Yeah.
cartoon monsters, but what will I manifest? I don't know. I don't want to manifest a monster of any
Nope.
kind.
No,
So,
no monsters.
yeah, after that, I was like, I have to be real careful because if I can see this when I close my eyes, it is
Hmm.
my subconscious is just creating it because
It's
I
doing
spent
some
5 days
things.
killing.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
yeah.
and I.
When you become a witch,
Mhm.
you are stepping onto a path of becoming a supernatural being. When you're
Mhm.
a supernatural being, you need a supernatural diet, a supernatural sleep schedule, a supernatural clothing schedule, a supernatural grooming schedule. You have to treat yourself differently.
Mhm.
And that means that you have to provide for the mental and emotional health of a supernatural being, you know, and the physical health, the habits, all of that. Like you got to get up in the morning, get your mind right, and
Yeah.
get with deity and project your day. Because if you don't, your supernatural mind will project your fears into your day, and then you have a terrible day. You
Yep.
know, and you get up. Magic is so powerful. I got in the car the other day. Somebody gave me $2,000 to go buy a refrigerator. I got in the car and I said, Dusty, we're going to drive down to Lowe's and we're going to get out of the car and we're going to walk to the refrigerator section. And the exact refrigerator that we have been looking at for 2 years that we want to buy is going to be just the right price for us to be able to get it today. And we got out of the car and we walked to the refrigerator section. And the exact refrigerator I wanted, only it wasn't the color that I wanted,
That's okay.
was $1,999. And it came with free panels so that I could change the color for free.
Oh, well, there you go. I've had
The
so
things
much
you
fun.
take for
Okay,
granted.
so before we get off of here, a few things. Why don't you share maybe if somebody wants to celebrate salad, what's like an interesting way? Besides, we've got like the suppers and stuff like that. What do
Okay,
you do
so
something in particular?
the thing that I find the most meaningful. Now you can go to events with other people.
Mhm.
And that is really great. But the thing that I find most meaningful is to sit down and make the dishes that they taught you to make or
Mm.
that you know that they love.
Mhm.
My grandfather wants a beer and a cigarette. He will literally come into the room and say, "You called me all this way and you don't have me a beer and a
A
cigarette."
beer and a
Oh
cigarette.
shit. Oh shit. Yeah, he tricked me into taking 3 hits off a cigarette in a seance last year in the house before I was like, "This is not me. Take this cigarette away from me, you guys. Help me. I don't smoke." But you want to sit down and bring the things that they like. What would they want if they were here, and just invite them into the room. I like to. So I cast a circle,
Mhm.
and I cast a hard circle because you don't want anything that you invite in getting out and staying, right? And then I open the west quarter and I ask for my beloved dead, anybody that wants to come see me that knows me and is here for my good, my benevolent intent, welcome them to eat. And then I sit there in silence and I let them speak to me and talk to me and tell me the things that they have to say. And man, I find out some amazing stuff. And so my grandmother died when she was like 50, and we were
Oh,
super,
wow.
super close. And then my first daughter is the same kind of spitfire. We look just alike. She's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. And the day I realized that we look just alike, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm pretty. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm
You
pretty.
just then
If I
figured that
look
out.
like that." So I encourage people, if you don't think you're pretty, look at your children or your parents, because one of them is pretty to you. And then you will know that you're pretty too, because we have such a messed up self-image, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I went through my whole life thinking that I was ugly. And then I gave birth to Lucy. And people would say, "Oh, you're so pretty." And I'd be like, "Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the same
whatever.
way.
You're
I'm
just
like,
trying to
okay,
get something
whatever.
off of me, you know." And then I saw a picture of my daughter as an adult standing beside me, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Wow, we look just alike." So it's um it's a
Funny how
beautiful
that
life
happens.
getting to share with ancestors
Mhm.
and pass that down to your children. Family gives us our biggest challenges, Atalanta. And
Mhm.
those are the most important. I think they make people blood because they teach you the biggest things. And
Mhm.
right now, we don't like to learn big lessons, and we have a way to run away from them. So we do. I guilty. I don't spend a lot of time with my parents. They're Mormon. They don't get me. It's funny because I never know who to expect. I'm always expecting something else to happen that actually does, and you just really have to be open
Yeah,
to
you got to be
whatever you
open.
receive. Otherwise you'll be like, "I didn't get anything."
Yeah,
Well, that's because you were not listening to what people were actually telling you. You got to
that's
be
right.
open to receiving. And they usually don't tell you things that you want to hear. They tell you things that you
Right.
need to hear. But yeah, when you look back over the length and breadth of your life, it's good to focus on the good things that your ancestors brought you, because there's
Mhm.
many of those.
Absolutely. And the
Yeah.
far, 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 far back ones, don't forget about them. Because, what is that saying? We are them, they are us, and we are them. It's all a big connection. So when I work with people doing the bones and stuff, I make sure I'm like, don't forget the ones way back, because they've got it. I mean, and they're watching all this. And so yeah, I stress to just don't forget them. It's not just the ones that you know. you know. I wanted you to also please recap on the Sickle Festival, because we want to make sure that everybody has that information.
Okay, Hecate Sickle Festival. It's www, because if you don't put that in, it'll say place not found. www.sickle.atcwicca.org. And if you just go to atcwicca.org, you can find it under events, but that's the direct link. And it is an awards leadership Hecate celebration. We invite all of the groups to come and celebrate your people and give them awards. It's an opportunity for us to share in what we have learned as leaders and to help guide future leaders but it's also, how do you worship Hecate? We have a lot of Hecate worship out there. Like we have the Strophalos on our robes. And do you know how to actually worship her? What are her rituals? This is a great way to find it. I'm going to do, I've made Yule balls. They're beautiful. And I'm going to do
Oh,
little spell balls where you learn how to do spell balls and put them on the Christmas tree, because you know the Christmas tree is actually a Yule tree that's been culturally appropriated as an altar to the goddess, is what it originally was. And
I love that.
and that's why all of you guys that are Christian put your trees up, is because it's an altar to the goddess. So thanks for celebrating paganism. Light rail. Check this out, Atalanta. Seattle Light Urban Transit is called the Slut, and they actually have T-shirts that say, "Have you ridden the Slut?" It's the Seattle Light Urban Transit. Yeah, it's Seattle is progressive, you guys.
Yes.
Progressive. So
I love that.
you just really got to come to Sickle. If you can't come this year because you didn't plan for it, remember we do an award ceremony. We're going to do another one next year. Plan to come and bring your people. It's going to be the kind of thing that you can really see us building community values into our world, because you know that's what the Mother Church does. It inculcates pagan values into our modern culture, and so by working together we make that happen. So if you want to be a group, that if you're a group then and you want to be a part of that, please come. And if you can't come, look us up, atcwicca.org, check out the group membership, and you can affiliate with us and be a part of the whole thing. It's really awesome.
Well, I'm so glad to see you again. I love having you on here. I just, we just kind of shoot the shit.
We do. We have a really good time. I don't know. I feel like, maybe it's the dead thing, but we both see the world very similarly and just get each other. And I love you so much.
I love you too. I can't wait to come out there. I'm super, super excited. Well, thank you so much. And I'm gonna bug you and have you back on a few times this next year. So
heck yeah, let's do it.
Let's do
it. And you gotta stay over after Spring Mystery so that you can come to the Mother Church and all of the stuff. I mean, it's been here for almost 50 years, so it's really cool.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, that's amazing. That's wonderful. Yes, I am gonna plan. I mean, I'm gonna be out there. I might as well stay a little bit and see everything.
Yeah, at least a couple days, at least till Tuesday. I'll drive you back to the airport. No big deal.
That'll work. That'll work. I'll plan about like 2 or 3 days afterward, and that's so much fun. Okay, well, I love you so much, and thank you again for being on here.
Thank you for having me. Anytime, anything. Let me know if I can do anything for you.
Thank you. That concludes another episode of Everyday Witchcraft. I want to thank all of you for tuning in, and a special thanks goes to Belladonna Laveau for being on the show. I hope you all have a happy Samhain, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Blessed be.